Welcome back to the 76th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend, Mike Gordon.
Howdy, Drew. We've got some monkeys in the house, and then monkey spouse, I guess. That's what you get by monkeying around, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
for that.
Elaine and Matt Sweatman are here. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome back, Elaine.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And yes, unfortunately, Charles and Veronica could not be with us to discuss this episode. This one kind of snuck up on us because I had forgotten that we have a major 60s pop star featured
Yes.
in this two-parter. So you guys will be joining us hopefully for both parts. We'll see if we scare you off for the second part, but or if Catwoman and her crew scare you off. But Elaine, we know your history about Batman, the series, the 60 series, and I think you did mention that Matt was more of the Batman fan, correct? So Matt,
Correct.
what is your experience with the series in general?
Well, I had the introduction with this show. I was at the perfect age, being Gen X. Now, I was too young I wasn't around when the show originally aired, but they were well in reruns and afternoon television when I was a kid. So this show being unique and being a show of an action adventure nature really appealed to me, and the character Batman quickly became my favorite superhero. Um, and at the young age, it was a perfect show as an introduction to Batman. And
Hmm.
then and and then an interesting thing happened. Of course, being interested in all things Batman, I remember being at a either a Kmart or what we used to have Richway, any of those department stores back in the day, and they sold the big DC like Treasury editions, oversized collections. And there was this book with Batman holding Robin's apparently lifeless body on the cover, and it wasn't Death in the Family. I was well aware of that by then, but it was I think it was a Ra's al Ghul story that had been reprinted,
Okay.
and I was fascinated because this was a much more dark, much more mature storytelling, and I think I was at the right age to want that. I couldn't get my parents to buy it for me. We were very poor, but several visits to that department store, I think I read it from back to front. Every time I visited, I'd pick up right where I left off. And so when I became able to buy my own comics later on in life, I had to buy Batman, and I realized the character was much different than what I'd been exposed to. But I was at the right age at that point to get a more mature take on it. So yeah, he is simply put my favorite superhero. Simply put, I know it's not original, but I love the character Batman. I love every iteration of it. It is my favorite comic book of all time.
Awesome. Awesome. And then you've come to the right podcast.
Yep.
You're on the right show. Do you recall this specific episode, watching it before? This two-parter, that darn Catwoman, and then the follow-up?
No, not specifically. I remember the cliffhangers. I remember the same bat time, same bat channel.
Hmm.
I remember all the rogues gallery and the amazing villains the show had, but the plot lines were not really what stuck out in my memory. So no, I can't say I specifically remembered this episode.
Gotcha. Have you gone and watched the entire series, or do you pick and choose? Do you have any particular favorites?
Uh, I like any Penguin episode. Even though Joker's my favorite villain, I think on the show the Penguin is my favorite villain. Um, but no, I haven't seen them. Like we own the complete series on Blu-ray when it released, what, 10 years ago now, or however long it was.
Right.
And we've watched several
Yeah.
episodes individually. We started to watch through, and Gaby got about a dozen episodes in before we kind of bogged down on that. And but it might be time to do a rewatch of the series. But we've watched the episodes in preparation for Elaine's podcast, so those episodes I know I've seen.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like he
Oh, right.
watches
The
with
one,
me.
oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
The ones that you've seen so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones with like Chad and Jeremy and the
Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Yeah, Paul Revere and the Raiders. He watched those with me because he's like, yeah, I'm going to watch Batman with you. Why would I not? So yeah,
Any excuse to watch Batman.
yeah. So
Well, we
yeah,
are glad to have you with us, and I think this is a decent two-parter. I think you're not going to be disappointed. I certainly haven't been so far regarding this. Although, Drew, I'm sure Catwoman again. Like it just
Hey,
seems like I mean, I'm not complaining, but yet I'm like, it's just amazing how like quickly turnaround. She's been in the last, I'd say like I don't know, few episodes we've done, it seems like she's popping up all the time.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a contract thing. It had to been. She's been on so much, but I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with that.
No, not
Not
at
at
all.
all.
Not at all.
Joey
yeah.
Newmar,
'Cause
Eartha Kitt, doesn't matter. I'm all for it.
she was in the Chad and Jeremy
She was.
one.
That's right.
Yes,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. The
yes.
last
So
time Elaine was here, it was a Catwoman
yeah,
two-parter, right?
it's Catwoman.
So
Yeah.
and we've done a Catwoman two-parter since Elaine was here. Which had the Sandman in it, but but still it was Catwoman. So yeah. Yeah, and then we are just following up with a three-parter that had the Penguin and the Joker in it. And so, I mean, it seems like they're really leaning into the heavy hitters this
Mhm.
second part or later part of this season. Because yeah, it's just like one right after another. Which again, I'm not complaining, especially when they're this fun.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
they do find a twist on it. So without
Yeah.
further ado, Drew, let's get into it.
All right, so this is Batman Season 2, Episode 40, That Darn Catwoman. Episode aired Thursday, January 19th, 1967, directed by Oscar Rudolph and written by Stanley Ralph Ross.
He's the guy. He's the guy that has written just about every Catwoman appearance. He did not write the two-parter with Sandman, but I think we commented at the time that that didn't feel like a Catwoman episode in terms of originally she wasn't supposed to be in it. She was sort of wedged in the story, so that's why he wasn't part of that writing that one. But man, do we get Catwoman as we know her, I think, back in this one. And of course, the title is a play on words on the 1965 Disney movie That Darn Cat, featuring, of all people, Frank Gorshin. So if you're wondering where Frank Gorshin's been this entire season, he's doing movies because he's
Yeah.
1965. Actually, this is right before he did Batman. Sorry. So it's right before he did Batman as the Riddler. Frank Gorshin is in That Darn Cat. So, and I learned this piece of trivia. Catwoman was not actually. This was supposed to be a team up between Catwoman and Poison Ivy. In the original treatment that they sent to ABC Standards and Practices, the documents show that it was supposed to be Poison Ivy, but Standards and Practices at ABC were like, let's not do that. Let's not have Poison Ivy. So they created a character that we will talk about soon.
Robin gives a speech to the graduating class at Aaron Burr High School, telling them that one thing they must remember is to always obey the law and support your local police. Good citizenship is its own reward.
I don't think Robin is in college yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that he's doing this, but because he's still in high school, right?
Yeah, as
I
far
think
as we
so.
know,
Yeah.
Do we know how
we
old he
we don't
is?
even know he has his license yet.
That's true. We don't even know if he has right because he hasn't. We haven't seen him drive yet by himself, right?
Right. And I
So
know I know that happens sometimes during the series because I remember seeing it.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
he's pretty young still here.
Yeah. Because when we get further in the episode, I was wondering how old he was based on his.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna come into play. That's why I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
and it's telling that I can't hear the name Aaron Burr now without thinking of the Alexander Hamilton musical nowadays.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing back in the 60s, but yes, it is
No.
now.
Also at the graduation is Catwoman, her henchman, and her new protege, Pussycat. Pussycat wonders why she is here. She's just a rock and roll singer. She's not a crook. Catwoman states that Batman has his, Catwoman states that Batman has his protege and now Catwoman has hers.
All
All
right.
Pussycat needs to do is scratch her way into Robin's heart.
Let's talk about Pussycat, who's a new character, not from the comics at all. There was a character that has been a sidekick to Catwoman much later on. I think she was introduced in Frank Miller's Batman Year One. Her name's Holly Robinson. Drew, are you familiar with Holly Robinson?
I
Uh,
think so. I
she
I
she
don't
was sort
remember from the I think she's been in later stuff too.
Yeah, she has been in some later stuff. She was part of Catwoman's past, and she was, she actually became Catwoman for a little while. I think when Selena was missing or something like that at some point. But yeah, she never, as far as I know, she never went, and she didn't look like this either. She didn't look like Leslie Gore. The aforementioned, yes, Pussycat is played by Leslie Gore, which is why we have Elaine and Matt with us. Leslie Gore is, among other things, pop singer. She's also the niece of series producer Howie Horowitz. Don't think that's a coincidence.
No.
But yeah, she is a very, very popular singer. And Elaine, you know much more about her and 60s pop singers than we do. So,
Yes. She really came in the early 60s, like 1963. It's My Party was like everybody knows It's My Party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to. And then she had a follow-up song that it was Judy's turn to cry, which is because Judy stole Johnny, her boyfriend, at the party that made her cry. Well, Johnny went back to her, so now it's Judy's turn to cry. So I thought that was cute. She had a two-parter song, which I don't know that anybody's done that before. And then You Don't Own Me is probably her other really well-known hit. It's been used in a lot of movies. Suicide Squad,
yeah, I was gonna
what I say,
say, I think
Hairspray.
as far
Yeah.
as a DC connection, I
Yeah.
do remember there's that sort of it's playing in the background for a
Mhm.
Harley Quinn scene in the last
Yeah.
Suicide Squad movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she had one other hit that was earlier, Sunshine, Lollipops and Rainbows. It's
Mm.
sort of an upbeat song, but yeah, she had like did music for a little while, and she also wrote with co-wrote with her brother one of the songs for the movie Fame, and I think
That's
they
right.
won an Oscar, or they were
Actually,
nominated for an
actually, they
Oscar.
were nominated for an
They were
Oscar
nominated.
for Out Here on My Own.
Hmm.
But they actually were bested by the award by another song from the same film, which was the theme song to Fame, which was written by her brother and Dean Pitchford. So her
Okay,
brother got
yeah,
an Academy Award. She did not.
yeah. So yeah, she was a little itty bitty tiny thing too. You can tell in the episode she's
Yes.
tiny, but yeah, she passed away in 2015. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
She
and
wasn't
I
really
just
that
found
old
out.
either.
No, I just found out that her mother just died in 2023, not that long after she turned 100 years old. So her mother
Wow.
outlived her. Yeah. So, yeah.
Um, when I was doing the research on her and everything, and I was familiar with some of her music, of course, and probably the biggest name. I mean, we've had some pop stars on here before, as we've mentioned, but this is Leslie Gore is like on another level,
Yeah.
because those songs were huge.
Mm,
It's My Party was number one for weeks, I believe, and yeah, I don't think anybody else who's been on Batman has had a number one song. Um, the thing that struck me though when I was doing the research was that she's only really acted in a handful of things, which
hmm
after watching this really surprises me because she's good. I mean, we'll get into it, but I really found her compelling and interesting,
hmm
and I thought she handled the part really, really well. Um, and I'm kind of surprised she didn't do more acting. She and Catwoman kind of remind me of, okay, so I'm a 60s, 70s, 80s guy. I was born in late 60s, and so in 70s and 80s I grew up watching Happy Days, right?
Right.
Couple characters in Happy Days that these two remind me of, which is Pinky Tuscadero and Leather Tuscadero, which are sisters.
Yeah.
Pinky Tuscadero is played by Roz Kelly. Obviously, she's the one in pink. She was in a few episodes and then didn't come back. I think was in a spinoff of Happy Days for a little while, but didn't last. And then the next season after that, they introduced her sister, her younger sister, Leather Tuscadero, which was played by a pop singer, Susie
Hmm.
Quattro, who was in
Yeah.
quite a number of episodes, I believe 7 episodes in seasons 5 and 6. So even though the Tuscadero sisters don't appear on screen together, I sort of, I guess it's because Pussycat's wearing pink. I just sort of
Hmm.
get this sort of Julie Newmar's wearing black leather. Well, it's not leather, but it's like it's got that. It looks like it's spray painted on, really. Uh, um, Outfit, but it just kind of get that vibe from them.
Hmm.
And so yeah, we'll get into more of them. I do really want to go over the henchmen real quick. The henchmen are named after fictional detectives. We got Spade, Marlowe, and Templar, which are Sam Spade, Philip Marlowe, and Simon the Saint Templar, which I thought was kind of fun. Spade is played by Jock Gaynor, who didn't do a lot of acting, but actually he ended up later becoming one of the producers of the Buck Rogers 80s series. Um, Marlowe is played by Tony Epper, 1938 to 2012. He was part actor, part stuntman. As a stuntman, he appeared in the 1960 Kubrick film Spartacus. He also appeared as late as 1992's Dracula. He also does some stunts in the 1960s Batman movie. And we saw him play a goon in Dishonor the Penguin, which Elaine should remember because
Yeah.
she was a part of that one when we reviewed it. We'll see him again in season 3, have a role, but then he did other things like Kolchak the Night Stalker, $6 Million Man, Greatest American Hero, Dick Tracy, and played a Klingon on an episode of Deep Space Nine, Apocalypse Rising.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, he was around for quite some time. And finally, Templar was played by George Sawaya, 1923 to 2003. Again, another stuntman slash actor. He did stunts as late as Escape from New York, 1981, and Blade Runner, 1982. He was part of the stunt team, another one on Batman the movie. But he appeared in 3 episodes of Star Trek, the original series, 5 episodes of Get Smart, 10 episodes playing 10 different characters in Mission Impossible. He's also in Kolchak the Night Stalker, The Devil's Reign, 3 episodes of Columbo, and he even appears in Repo Man in 1984. So those are the highlights of these gentlemen. But I do find it interesting that the henchmen, at least 2 or 3 of them, are played by stunt guys
Yeah.
rather than just your ordinary actors or, going through. So I don't, in the fight scenes, I don't know if they're doing their own stunts. I couldn't freeze frame enough to see
Yeah.
if that was them. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It
It
saves them
did seem
money.
like
I was gonna say it would save them money. They don't have to have the actor and then the stunt double. The stunt double doubles himself. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So,
and I was just going to say that it seemed like they had a bit of personality and a bit of uniqueness, unlike a lot of the other goons we see in the show. So it was kind of nice to see that.
I love the Catmen gear that they
Hmm.
wear. I love I think if I ever like do cosplay at Dragon Con, I think you can expect I'm going to get one of those coats and hats because that would be fun. That would be fun. I just need to find a Catwoman to walk around and follow.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
not
yeah,
not in
that
a
was great.
not in a creepy way.
No, no, get permission first.
Absolutely. Cosplay is not consent.
Absolutely.
Robin goes to leave, but Pussycat blocks his way. Pussycat wants to be alone with Robin. Robin questions why. Pussycat answers that she can Pussycat answers that she can see that a very important part of his education has been grossly neglected.
Okay, it's established before she goes over there. Catwoman specifically says you're over 20, so you're over the hill, right? Like as
And
a rock
she's
star.
20. She is 20 years old.
So she's 20 years old and she's hitting on an as of yet undetermined age of Robin, right? So,
Yes.
um, so he's probably not over 18, right? This is,
Oh,
I
because I
mean,
mean, I thought he was
granted,
like
they
16 or
are
17.
criminals. They are criminals.
I
Well, she
know,
just
but
wants
still.
she just wants her big break to get into rock and roll, and thought being a henchman would be a nice path to that somehow.
So, but it doesn't, I guess it doesn't come across as creepy because Burt Ward is obviously not a teenager. I mean, he's
Right.
playing a teenager, and he's really good at playing a dumb, naive teenager. And that will continue throughout this two-parter, I think. Uh, um, but yes, he still doesn't know the way of the world, and yeah, that is obvious that Pussycat does.
Yeah.
Robin inquires if there is anything in particular that Pussycat wants. Pussycat answers, "Only you, Boy Wonder," then scratches him on the back of the neck with a big pink nail laced with Catwoman's new drug, cata, cat. I forgot how to pronounce it.
Is it Catatonia?
No, it's cat, cataphrenic.
Oh, cataphrenic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
cataphrenic. There we go. Robin grunts and then turns his attention to Pussycat. "Hello, baby. You're a real cute trick."
So we've seen Robin go into hip mode when he was undercover in a past episode from season one, which is one of my favorite Dick Grayson moments. He's just hilarious in that, and he's channeling that here too. He's all yeah. This drug, whatever it does, it really gets you down in the in the nether regions. It looks like.
I almost expected to see stars in his eyes like Davy Jones in an episode of the Monkees.
Yeah, well, I think as someone pointed out, I read somewhere, forgive me, I can't remember who it was, but someone pointed out that it's like the drug makes Robin's eyes bug out and jaw drop to the ground. Like aruga, aruga. And look, Leslie's not too bad to look at. So
Not at all.
yeah, he's got her in his sights.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Chief O'Hara appears and says hello to the boy wonder. He asks Robin who his friend is. Robin replies, "What's it to you, fella? Get out of my way or I'll give you a fat lip." Chief O'Hara wonders what Pussycat has done to Robin, calling her a banshee. Robin shoves Chief O'Hara into the wall. Chief O'Hara hits his head and falls to his butt. Robin puts his arm around Pussycat. "Come on, gorgeous."
And not Gotham's finest hour here.
Yeah.
No.
But you
Well,
know
I think
what? Considering the last time we saw Chief O'Hara, he was covered in strawberry jam. This is a step up for him.
Yeah.
I figured they wanted to play with the contrast of the speech he just did, where he talked about obeying law enforcement. So they wanted to contrast that with, okay, now he's specifically disobeying law enforcement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found that Stanley's scripts are pretty smart. They're full of nice little touches, and the actors gives a lot for the actors to do. I really, really appreciate his writing on these Catwoman episodes, and they're really fun.
Yeah.
Back at the Batcave, Batman paces around telling Alfred he is worried. Suddenly, the bat phone rings, beeping rapidly like it knows that it is an emergency call. I don't know if you noticed that. It
It
seemed to
did.
be blinking
Yeah, it was like,
quicker
hey,
than
hey,
normal.
pay attention to me.
Commissioner Gordon informs Batman that Robin attacked Chief O'Hara at the high school. He left before he could be questioned. Chief O'Hara had the wind knocked out of him, but he is okay. Batman will be right there.
Yeah, I don't think Batman was even concerned about Chief.
No.
He's like, well, what? He must have had a reason. Why did he do that?
Chief O'Hara explains to Commissioner Gordon and Batman that it was if the devil had taken control of Robin. He was with a short red-headed girl and tripped Chief O'Hara when he greeted him. Batman wonders if they have a new villainess, but Chief O'Hara disagrees, stating that she is too young. Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, Aunt Harriet asks Alfred why she isn't allowed in Bruce's study. Alfred answers that every man likes to have a sanctuary from women. For less fortunate men, it's the barber shop. But for Mr. Wayne, it's his study.
Good reaction by Alfred to help keep the secret there. I thought that was quick thinking on his feet. Even if it's a little sexist, but yeah, still.
She's fixated on that study, that's for sure. We've seen it.
She's wondering what all that beeping is. She hears the beeping. There's been a few episodes where she's like, "Why is it beeping like all the time?" And there's beeping constantly in there. Yeah, so she wonders what's going on.
Holy break-in! To Alfred and Aunt Harriet's surprise, Catwoman enters through the glass door with Robin, Pussycat, and 3 of her henchmen. Robin ties up Alfred while Pussycat ties up Aunt Harriet. The 3 henchmen get to work on Bruce Wayne's safe. Catwoman tells Robin and Pussycat to help the boys blow the safe. Aunt Harriet wonders if there is anything left to believe in. Catwoman pours milk from a wine glass into a saucer and starts drinking it. She explains to Alfred that Robin is under the influence of her new drug, cataphrenic, which reverses a person's moral and ethic standards. She plans to put Batman in the same condition.
Yeah, so far it seems to make them really horny.
And and conveniently makes them forget who they are and their secret identities.
Drew, you're not drinking it from a saucer. It doesn't you're drinking it from a wine glass, not a saucer. So
no, I don't want to be spilling milk on my laptop.
Yeah, she did spill some milk all over the place, but you know what? She wore it well. She wore it well. I'm just glad that Alfred wasn't gassed again. It's been a minute since he's been gassed, so good for Alan Napier, because he's like, whoo, that was awful. Every other week I was getting gassed. So just tie me up here, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I was wondering while all this was happening, why Robin didn't know the combination of the safe, why he didn't act like he'd been there before, but we find out in a little bit why that is. So, but because it's not really answered right now as to what is going on with this drug.
Catwoman's henchmen are able to blow the safe. Robin starts grabbing out the cash and stuffing it in a bag. Stick with me, Pussycat. We're going places. Catwoman dashes over to the safe and corrects Robin. All that cash is working capital. She has a much bigger job for them to pull. Robin agrees that Catwoman is the boss.
The idea of having that Catwoman gets a sidekick is awesome. I'm surprised they've never really done it. I mean, I mentioned Holly Robinson in a little while ago, but they've never really done it in the comics, and they didn't do it in the Silver or Bronze Age, which I'm really surprised by, because they had everybody had a sidekick back then. So I mean, Batwoman had a sidekick. So I'm surprised that Catwoman never got a sidekick, and this is pretty good. I don't love her outfit, Leslie Gore's that they're having her wear. I really don't like the mittens. They seem awkward, and I know she a lot of times she's wearing them around her neck instead of actually wearing them. And they just look awkward. So I would have done without, just give her gloves. That would have been fine, I think. I don't know why. Maybe kittens with mittens. I get it, fun stuff there. But yeah. So, and Catwoman seems to have a rapport with Robin here too, which is amazing, because over the course of this run, she hates him. She hates Robin because Robin is in the way of, she feels that Robin's always in the way of her relationship with Batman. So, but it is kind of funny to see her, go, okay, well, if you can't beat him, join him, and the only way to get rid of him is to give Robin his own foil. And
Yeah.
yeah, it maybe could have played out better. We'll see how it goes, but I love the idea.
Robin gets dizzy and passes out. Catwoman suspects a negative side effect from the drug. It will wear off in a couple of hours. At Commissioner Gordon's office, Batman is surprised to see the hotline phone ringing. Batman answers it and learns from Alfred that Master Robin has just been there with Catwoman, robbing the wall safe of the housekeeping money, $200,000. He
Yeah,
further
it rings fast here too, Drew. Like it rings like, "Hey, pick me up here." So I don't know if they've changed the ringtone of the bat phone, but I noticed it here as well. It's much more urgent
yes.
in these scenes that we've seen it in. So I'll be curious as to whether that is the thing going forward, whether it's always going to be that fast now.
He further explains that Robin is under the influence of a drug that causes him to be a bully, have amnesia, and causing fainting spells.
Yeah, at this point, Batman says that Catwoman now has the power to cloud men's minds, which,
Yeah.
if you're familiar with that phrase, it was best associated with a radio series starring The Shadow, with Lamont Cranston as the hero there, which The Shadow was a major influence on the creation of Batman as a comic book character. So I thought that was kind of a nice callback. Like I said, Stanley throws all these like little touches in that I just love.
Yeah.
Back at Catwoman's hideout, Pussycat informs Catwoman that Robin is sleeping in the other room. He seems sort of fuzzy since they got back from Wayne Manor. Catwoman decides not to take him on any more jobs, but as long as he is on their side, that should keep Batman at a safe distance. Pussycat has brought or Pussycat has bought a background music record. Marlowe, Spade, and Templar have agreed to be her test audience. Catwoman tells Pussycat that she is either going to be a singer or an arch criminal. She can't be both. Pussycat asks if she has a choice. Catwoman tells her no. She is too short. However, Catwoman allows her to sing. She just won't listen.
Yeah, I don't know if if the Catwoman wants to tell the minstrel that you can't be a singing villain. But we haven't, you know what? It's best to forget about the minstrel anyway. That seems like such a long time ago that we saw him, Drew. Like, I mean, I find it hard to believe that we're in the same season as that.
I know. It's been a long season so far, and it's not over yet.
No, it's not.
Pussycat puts on the record while the henchmen sit on the floor Indian style. They watch Pussycat perform California Nights.
Yeah, California Nights was written by Marvin Hamlish and did pretty well for Leslie Gore. Topped out at number 16 on the Billboard singles chart in March. Good hit for her. And this was, I think, its premiere. Really was on this show. Um, an attempt, dare I say, to jumpstart her career again because it had taken a bit of a dip in a year, right? Maybe she had lost a little bit, and come up with this. The California Nights does seem like it's more leaning towards the California scene music. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because she's like a New York girl, like born and raised New York. And so I always picture her like that kind of not California, but I guess you had the Beach Boys and you had like the Mamas and the Papas were going to be coming on soon. So I guess it was like you need to pivot that way. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't get a musical number very often, as Elaine
Hmm.
knows,
Yeah.
in Batman. So yeah, but this is straight up like, here you go, kid. Even Catwoman's like, you know what? I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
It's a nice little tune. I hadn't heard it before. Had you guys familiar with it at all before this?
I was not. No.
After Pussycat is done singing, Catwoman announces they need another $800,000 and Batman. She wants Batman in her corner. Catwoman calls Commissioner Gordon on her creepy blue cat phone and demands that Commissioner Gordon put her on the hotline.
Okay, you added the word creepy.
I'm sorry. I thought that phone was creepy looking.
Because I thought it was kind of cool, but apparently it works like the bat phone, which is not shaped like a bat. But but it goes right to Commissioner Gordon's office as well.
So every one of the Rhodes Gallery have their own hotline to Commissioner Gordon's office.
No, this is actually a first. I think what they've had
Okay.
we've seen some of the villains call him before, and some of them just show up in his office. But yeah, this is the first time we've just actually seen someone just pick up a phone. I don't even know if she dials, and it goes right to him. So
Commissioner Gordon calls Batman and places his private line up to the hotline.
wow, that technology, right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, that is some old school technology. I'm just going to take the receiver and one end and then put it on the whatever the other end's called. I don't know. But anyway, it's been a long time since I've used one of those kind of phones. But the visually it does look kind of fun of him holding the phones together. And that's a thing that I kind of remember from my youth, but I couldn't place exactly what episode it was from or anything like that. And yeah. Batman we've seen has the ability to actually in the Batcave and in Wayne Manor to have like party calls or merge the calls together. But yeah, apparently, yeah, Commissioner Gordon does not have that. He's got like 3 phones.
He does.
Yeah.
Which we see him use later on.
Yeah. Well, in this one, he's on the phone with Bonnie, and then he says he'll take it to his private line, and then he switches it over to the black phone, and then he carries the black phone over to the red phone, and then yeah. So yeah, good lot of phone dialing here. Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon's working with a lot of phone props.
Batman demands to know what Catwoman did to Robin. Catwoman assures Batman that Robin is safe as long as he does what Catwoman tells him. Catwoman informs Batman that she plans on committing some robberies. If Batman or the police try to stop her, she will kill Robin instantly.
Ooh.
Batman tells Catwoman that he finds her to be. Oh, great. Here we go. Batman tells Catwoman that he finds her to be odious, abhorrent, and insignifiant.
Insignivious, yes. Which is, by the way, insignivious is a made-up word. It was first attributed to Gary Owens in the '60s and was used in Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, where Gary Owens was a regular performer. So it is they're taking a word from another show. I guess the fandom today would say that means these two shows are in the same universe.
Yeah.
Were they
This
on
and
the same
Laugh-In.
network?
What's that?
Were they on the same network?
Oh, good question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what network Laugh-In was on. So,
Oh, it was on Nick at Night. When it was on Nick at Night. Yeah, because when you said Gary Owens, I was picturing the glasses and going, Rowan and Martin's laughing, holding onto his headphone.
Yeah, I mean, for those people who don't know, Laugh-In was like it was a sketch comedy show from the '60s. Everybody appeared in it. It was really, really popular. I don't know what network it was on though, so I'll see if but it's yeah, it's I don't even know if you can watch it unedited anymore.
Oh,
It does look like, according to this, it was on NBC. So it was on a different
NBC.
network, I think. So don't hold me to that, but I believe it was on a different network.
Catwoman admits that dealing with Batman has added to her vocabulary and increased her word power a whole lot.
And watching Laugh-In too.
Yeah.
Or at least Batman watches Laugh-In.
Ruby.
Catwoman wants to meet Batman on neutral ground, but Commissioner Gordon interrupts, pointing out that it is a trap. It's a trap! Batman answers, "No deal, Catwoman." Catwoman states it is curtains for Robin and hangs up.
That's pretty damning right there. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
this show, we've talked about it before, sometimes this show like really crosses that line a little bit, steps its toe in the darkness. And when
yeah.
she's talking about killing Robin, the way I give Julie Newmar so much credit because she's so good. She can be funny, but she can be like she can dip that toe into that boot and into that dark territory every once in a while, and you kind of just she means it.
Hmm.
Well, this show threatens a lot of killing, but you never quite feel like they're actually going to go through with it because I don't think the show ever really does that.
No, I mean we've seen people die on this show. It's been a long time though, right, Drew? Like I don't think anybody's really been killed like since first season, maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody.
And yeah, I mean it is very cartoony.
Hmm.
So they get away with it, but man, it's you know, and it's just one of those things where the censors will look at stuff that's like sexualized in their mind and want to cut it, but when it comes to violent stuff, they're like, yeah, that's okay.
Batman must handle this in his own way. Batman instructs Commissioner Gordon not to be shocked by anything that happens and under no circumstances make any attempt to capture Catwoman. It may mean Robin's life.
This is important. Batman is telling Commissioner Gordon, don't freak out if some weird stuff happens, and that'll probably show up later on.
Yeah.
As far as whether or not Gordon actually does freak out when weird stuff happens.
He should have answered, "Do I ever freak out with all the weird stuff that happens around you?"
Yes, he does.
He does. Back at Catwoman's hideout, Pussycat is wondering why they are stealing cash. Catwoman reveals that she needs $1 million to purchase plans for the Gotham City Mint. They are still short $700,000. Catwoman asks Pussycat to watch the money while she and the boys go out to steal more. In the loft apartment of Pat Pending, the world's richest and cheapest inventor, Rudy learns that Pat has perfected the formula for a universal solvent. Problem is, he hasn't got anything to keep it in, or it will eat through every container.
So
Pat,
we've got here Pat Pending, which obviously is a play on patent pending, right? And then we've got Rudy the valet, who it's a reference to Rudy Valley. Pat Pending is played by J. Pat O'Malley, 1904 to 1985. Done a lot of work. He was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents, 101 Dalmatians, 4 episodes of Twilight Zone, playing different characters, of course. Mary Poppins, he appears in that. Honey West, Bewitched. He's in a lot of actual Disney movies. He's in
Mm.
Jungle Book. He does the voice of the character Otto in Robin Hood, and he appears also in Kolchak the Night Stalker. Rudy the valet is played by Steve Franken, 1932 to 2012. He was really a huge star kind of before this because Elaine's shaking her head. She knows. She
Yep.
knows. He played. Do you know the character's name?
No, I do not. And I looked it up the other day, and I don't remember his character's name. But no, I do know who he is, though.
He played the character's name was Chatworth Osborne Jr.,
Yes,
right?
that's correct. Yes,
And the series was
The Many Loves and Lives of Dobie Gillis.
that's right, from 1960 to 1963. He appeared in like almost every episode of that. So he had a
Yeah.
great run on that show. He appears in a lot of other stuff. He's in 7 episodes of Bewitched, playing various characters. He's in The Party, the Peter Sellers movie from 1968. He has a role in Westworld, 1973. He also appears in an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker. By the way, if you've noticed anything about a lot of the actors that appear in this, the one title that keeps coming up, Kolchak the Night Stalker. But
We
even later on, he was in an episode of Human Target. That's a DC related property, and did a voice on one of the episodes of Batman the Animated Series.
okay.
These two guys here are doing a Laurel and Hardy impersonation, and in my opinion, it's terrible. Steve Franken is doing this sort of Laurel like blinking his eyes, and well, that's what how we do it. And it just we've seen the Laurel and Hardy homages on the show before, right, Drew? But they were better than this. I think in the Sleepwalker in the Sandman episode, his two henchmen were Laurel and Hardy homages, and they were much better than these two guys, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree with that.
I'm sorry,
Pat
was somebody else going to say something?
Mm,
Okay.
I'm good.
Pat proclaims that at least he still has his money. Pat runs over to his bed mattress and unzips it, revealing cash. Rudy thinks it would be safer in a bank. Suddenly, Catwoman and her henchmen come bursting through the door of the apartment. They club both Pat and Rudy over the head with clubs. Catwoman goes straight to Pat's mattress. In the hospital, Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara question Pat Pending and Rudy, asking if any stocks or bonds are missing. Only cash was missing. Catwoman also mentioned something about a prince. Commissioner Gordon remembers that here we
Karib?
go again. Commissioner Gordon remembers that Prince Ibn Carib of Gedalia is being weighed against cash tomorrow for some fundraiser for the orphans of the country. Commissioner Gordon must contact Batman. Chief O'Hara announces, "To the elevator."
Yeah, I guess a big giant check's not enough of a theatrical thing for a fundraising. They have to really go to the big stunt for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
those princes of Guerrilla? Is that what it's
Yeah, yeah.
called? Yeah, such a lavish place. I'd love to
Mhm.
vacation there. It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
The next morning, Prince Ibn is getting weighed. Catwoman tells her henchmen to synchronize their watches. None of them have watches. Catwoman orders them just to grab the money and run. I love Julie Newmar when she did that. It was
Yeah, like I
funny.
said, she's got, I mean, great comedic timing.
Yeah.
The relationships that she has with her henchmen is just so fun. I will mention here, I'll take a moment to mention here that Prince Carib is played by David Renard, 1921 to 1973. Didn't act in a lot of stuff, but he appears in some stuff that is notable for us geeky guys, like The Green Hornet. He's in 3 episodes of Man from Uncle, and 2 episodes of Mission Impossible, playing different characters. No Kolchak on his resume, but I did want to point out that the Prince's servant is played by Clark Ross he lived from 1913 to 1987. Now this guy's got over 250 credits. The first one was in 1942, and he appeared in Batman the movie. He also appeared in the 2 Ma Parker episodes, and he appeared in Green Ice, the one of the episodes with Mr. Freeze this season, and he's in a few more that we'll get to later on this season. He also appeared in 7 episodes of The Man from Uncle. He appeared in the Star Trek episode, a classic episode, A Piece of the Action. He appeared in 7 episodes of Get Smart, 7 episodes of Mission Impossible, 8 episodes of Bewitched, 5 episodes of Columbo, and of course, he appeared in Kolchak the Night Stalker. But most important to Elaine, he appeared in an episode of The Monkees called Find the Monkeys in 1967.
Oh, I don't think we've gotten to that episode yet. And some
So
some of the episodes they kind of have generic titles, so I'm like, I don't know what that episode's about. So,
it's not uncommon for us to see actors who appear in this in other 60s
oh yeah,
shows like Mission Impossible, Man from Uncle, and The Monkees.
yeah.
So I knew that somebody in this two-parter had to be on The Monkees at some point, and it turns out it was Clark Ross. But man, what
We,
an amazing career that guy had. He's a guy that
no,
nobody knows, nobody notices, but he's
mm,
been like, I bet he had some stories to tell because he's
yeah,
been in so much fun stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Catwoman puts her arm around Robin's shoulder, asking him how he is feeling. Robin answers, "Perfect." Catwoman smiles. "You're learning." Catwoman bursts into the room where Prince Ibn is being weighed. All her henchmen have guns, including Pussycat. Catwoman orders Robin to grab the cash. Batman appears from behind a curtain. "Don't do it, Robin. She's got you under her spell." Robin asks Catwoman who the guy in the ridiculous costume is. Catwoman laughs, informing him that it is Batman. Batman is surprised that Robin doesn't recognize him at all. The three officers get ready to fight, but Batman orders them to stay back. He'd rather take care of this himself. Catwoman's him This is what I find weird. Catwoman's henchmen put down their guns so they can fist fight.
Yeah.
Batman fights Catwoman's henchmen while Robin, Pussycat, and Catwoman load up the money bags with cash. When Batman has defeated the henchmen, the Caped Crusader turns his attention toward Catwoman. Catwoman orders Robin to slay the blue dragon. Robin answers, groovy. Rob, Robin punches Batman in the gut and then in the face. Batman keeps taking the punches without fighting back. Finally, Robin breaks a chair over Batman, dazing him. Jeez. Catwoman and her crew escape with the money. She orders all of them into her Cadillac.
Why doesn't she take him?
I don't know.
Batman is down. Why don't they take him? Instead, we get the next few scenes, which are kind of fun, but still, I'm like, why? That's her goal, that she wants the money and she wants Batman, and yet they just he defeats three of her guys, which, I mean, single-handedly, because he doesn't even get help from the police officer or anything like that. And he disposes of them pretty quickly. And I love the fact that Julie Newmar as Catwoman is not surprised by any of this. Like, she's like, she sends henchmen out to get Batman and Robin all the time, but she doesn't have any illusions that they're gonna have a chance against them. So that is kind of fun. But I was like, why is she just leaving him there? But she does.
She orders all of her men into the Cadillac. They speed away.
Yeah, see
Batman,
see what City did there? Yeah, that's pretty sharp, right?
Batman pursues Batman pursues them in the Batmobile. Across the bridge in New Guernsey is another of Catwoman's hideouts. Batman calls Commissioner Gordon and updates him. When Batman enters the hideout, he finds Robin tied to a chair.
Okay, I have to
Holy
pause you here
Okay.
because Batman calls Commissioner Gordon and says, I think I found Catwoman's second layer. And I'm like, how do you know it's her second layer? And then he proceeds, it might be a trap, but I'll keep you posted. I'll give you a call, like, or whatever. I'll keep you informed. And then he goes up the stairs and there's like tons of signs that say secret entrance to Cat Lair West. This must be the
Yeah.
place. Catwoman's in here.
I really think they should have designed one of the Arkham games back on the like an area of Arkham or Arkham City or Gotham dedicated done in the style of '66 Batman. That would have been
Yes.
awesome.
Oh yeah. I never played that game, but that would have been fun. That would have been fun. But now it's apparent that because prior to him getting there, they're just kind of sitting around going, waiting for him to show up. So they must have got quite the head start. And when Batman drives up, man, he like almost crashes into her car, her Cadillac. I mean, it
Yeah.
must be, yes, Elaine, there must be like an inch. Like you
Yeah.
could put a piece of paper in between both cars. But yeah, so obviously I'd like to think that the guys that the henchmen went out and put those signs up to lead Batman in there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just seems ridiculous. Because yeah, this show's bonkers, but it's not usually that much bonkers. Like it's not really that like ludicrous at times.
Yeah.
At times.
Mhm.
But it was fun. But I did think it was funny because Batman's like, yeah, I think I found her lair, and it's like there's signs all around saying like,
All you
Well,
needed was the big flashing like
yeah,
red
like
arrow this way, this way, this way. Beep, beep,
exactly.
you know.
It
Yeah.
had to be one of those. I know it's a trap moment, but I have to go anyway.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully, Batman's not quite that dense.
Batman's got a plan. Batman
Yeah.
knows because
Yeah.
remember he told Commissioner Gordon, no matter what happens, like yeah, I'm on it. So
Yeah.
he knows I think he even knows. Man, it's so rare on this show, but every once in a while, Drew, we see Batman, the Batman that we know from the comics, who's like 10 steps ahead. And
Yep.
I feel like even though he's walking into a trap, he feel like he's confident because I think he still knows what he's going to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy nick of time. Robin is glad that Batman showed up. Batman unties Robin, relieved he was playing possum this whole time. Catwoman's henchmen come up behind Batman and zap him with 3 cattle prods. Batman falls unconscious. There's no no getting out of that one.
Adam takes that fall so funny. Like that Pratt fall is one of his best. I mean, he just like eyes like his expression on getting shocked. He really sells it. And then he falls over. It's he's just great. He's just great at
Yeah.
this.
Great Scott! Catwoman ties Batman to a giant mousetrap. If Batman agrees to help Catwoman, she will let him out. If not, Robin will cut the rope on the trap and cut him in half. He will be beside himself. Batman will never be Catwoman's partner. Catwoman orders Robin to start cutting. Holy bat trap! What a decision! A life of crime or no life at all. There's no way out, or is there? Tune in next week for the shocking answer. Same cat time, same cat channel.
So we get the same cat time, same cat channel here. Drew, how come it's taken this long for Catwoman to put Batman in a mousetrap?
I was going to say the same thing. Haven't we done a giant mousetrap by this point?
We have
Nope.
not. This is a
Oh,
first. It looks
wow.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really the prop guys went out of their way. I mean, they were busy building a huge scale for the scene before this, and I thought, okay, well, that's their highlight, right? Nope, nope. They've got a big old trap, a mouse trap here for Batman to be tied up in, it looks great.
Yeah, we've seen her try to barbecue them,
Yes.
try to torture them with that sound chamber.
Yes.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think the other one the one that was like one of the highlights for me was I think it's the first one where he gets attacked by a cat, like a big tiger, right?
Oh, yeah, that's from season 1. That's one of my favorites
Yeah.
because she that's the one with the spiked walls.
Yes.
And then Batman or not Batman, Robin gets sucked out of this tube or something, and then she sets that tiger on Batman, and then she ties Robin to a plank and gonna feed him to the this pit of tigers. Yeah, I
Oh
love that
wow.
episode.
Yeah, this
Do
is
they
Which we've
have real
said many
tigers?
times.
Do they have real tigers in that episode?
they had one real tiger, yes. And
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
unfortunately it had a bad experience on set.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a great moment in animal acting, but yeah, back then they were, I think, a little bit more careless about that sort of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, what'd you guys think? It's Matt, I guess we'll start with you since you're the new one here. Like, as far as being on the show, what do you think of this as a episode of the series?
I think it's a good one. This is prototypical Catwoman. Julie Newmar is at her peak, at her best as Catwoman in this episode. I think Leslie Gore makes a great sidekick. Very lovely, very. She has a lot of lines. She actually participates quite a bit, probably the most of any of the musical guests that y'all had on before. And yeah, it's I think certainly higher, better than average episode.
Yeah. Elaine?
Yes, I enjoyed this one, and this is my favorite so far of the three cliffhangers
Oh,
that I
okay.
have seen. Because the mousetrap was very impressive. The sound chamber echo sound thing, that one was kind of cool. But the first one, the one we saw,
Oh, with
they were
them.
just over the pits of something, and it was like you can just that one wasn't that life threatening. But this one, but I do think it's always funny that it's always somebody with this big thick rope with this little tiny knife sawing, trying to, I do think that's funny. But no, I enjoyed this episode, and Leslie Gore
Hmm.
is really good in this episode. So
I agree. I think Leslie Gore is really good, and I think I don't mind getting Catwoman back, even though she's been on a lot. I certainly don't mind when it's Julie Newmar, Catwoman, and I really don't mind when it's written by Stanley Ralph Ross. They just it's really well done. So really fun, and I do remember this one from my youth because I do remember Pussycat being in one of the episodes, and yeah, there's something that happens, I think, in this story. It must happen in the second part because it didn't happen yet. So we'll have to go and see what happens next week. But and yeah, the cliffhanger is really good too. So,
Yeah.
and I love the idea of Batman and Robin against each other.
Hmm.
Um, it's a weird visual to see Robin beating up Batman. And it's some of those things that kind of sticks with you. But yeah, I like it a lot too. What about you, Drew?
I loved it. And I have a feeling I felt like I'd seen this one before, but the details on it were foggy. Now, what I really liked about this episode was the fact that we had a character that was more Robin's age,
Hmm.
and that, we had kind of a female foil for Robin. So I really enjoyed that. And I loved it being a Catwoman episode. She was really fun in this episode. And I like the way that she kind of took Robin under her wing, her criminal wing. So she kind of had like two proteges almost.
Uh,
But yeah, I found this episode really fun.
the In case you're wondering, because we've made mention of it, as far as the characters goes, obviously Pussycat is 20, Robin's somewhere around what 15, 16, so right, we'll say.
Yeah.
Maybe 17, 18, not quite 18. I don't know. Yeah, he should be driving. But so, in case you're wondering, Leslie Gore was born in 46, and Burt Ward was born in 45. So actually, Burt had a year on her as far as how old he was actually. So
Yeah.
it's only creepy as characters, not as behind the scenes.
Very much so.
All right, well, that wraps up another episode. Did you have a shout out, Elaine?
I would like to shout out Monkeying Around, my podcast that I'm on with Charles and Veronica. It's Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
Have you ever mentioned Leslie Gore? Does she have any connection with the monkeys?
Not that I've run into yet,
Okay.
other than being on an episode with somebody, an episode of Batman with somebody who was on an episode of the Monkeys.
So you got so
Um,
degrees of separation.
yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I was surprised, like I said, I was surprised to learn that she didn't act more because I think she's really
right.
good in this, and I'm just wondering why that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
All right, did you have a shout out, Matt?
Well, by the time this airs, it'll already have left town. But we just saw the Back to the Future musical. If it ever comes back through town or wherever you're at, it's a good fun time. It's not one of the high concept musicals. I mean, it's just a good fun. Pretty much follows the plot of the movie with a few different twists. But we had a good time. We really enjoyed it.
interesting. And the songs are good?
Yeah, they some from the movie and some original. I enjoyed the ones from the movie more, to be honest. But the actors they had playing Doc Brown and Marty McFly did a good job of recreating them for the musical stage. So we had a good time.
Nice.
All right, did you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. Since we're talking about music, and it just so happens that we got sad news this past week. BatChums sad to learn of the recent passing of songwriter Sonny Curtis, 1937 to 2025. He was responsible for such hits, writing such hits as "Walk Right Back," "I Fought the Law," "More Than I Can Say." He wrote the theme song to the Mary Tyler Moore Show, "Love Is All Around." He also, early in his career, worked with Buddy Holly. He was a member of the Crickets,
Hmm.
and later, with another member of the Crickets, Jerry Allison, formed a band called the Camps. Now, the Camps wrote and recorded a sort of novelty hit called "The Ballad of Batman," and on the B side of that was a song called "The Batmobile." These were released in 1965. So they had, I guess, wind that there was a Batman series in production. So I think they were taking their stab at providing music for that show. But the obviously the producers went with Neil Hefti's theme instead, and both tracks, by the way, you can available on YouTube. We'll try to have links in our show notes so you can check them out. The Ballad of Batman and Batmobile. Um, the producers made the right call. Let's just say that. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but yeah, the Ballad of Batman is not the greatest Batman song, but it exists and it's there and it's collectible if you can find one of these at a 45. I think the B side Batmobile is actually better than the A side, which is Ballad of Batman. So, but I found both of them on YouTube, and like I said, we'll have links to those in our show notes and in our newsletter. So you can follow along and listen to those tracks. I was going to play some for you guys, but I didn't want us to get sued by anybody.
Yeah.
So but yes, it was sad to learn that Sonny Curtis has passed. Our condolences and sympathies to his fans, friends, and family.
All right, and for my shout out, guess what I got for my birthday?
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh, cool.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And I don't know if you could see it, but it's actually got Robin in the Batmobile.
That looks very similar to it's got Robin in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna say that's very similar to this one that I have.
Oh wow.
Um, I think it's by the same company, but
It looks, yeah.
yeah, it looks kind of similar. But
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
that looks that's pretty cool. Yeah, yours has Robin in it. Now I need another
Yes.
one. Now I need a new
Now,
one.
on the back of it, it looks like they have other vehicles and stuff too.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the one that I have is actually on the back of yours. I don't know if the one that you have is on the back of mine. It is not. So I only have my back only has four. So I guess yours is a later model.
I
But
guess so.
very cool. I did not know
Yeah.
that there was another one. And I'm
So,
always on the lookout for Batmobiles, as we have already previously discussed at length. But that's very cool, Drew. You gonna take it out of the box?
I don't know.
I didn't take I haven't taken this one out of the box.
I was, I'm tempted, but
I have Batmobiles out of the box. But then I have
of
some
course, so
Batman.
do I.
I have exactly. So I have Batmobiles that are not in the box. So but that one yeah. I actually if I took him out of the box, my big fear is that I would lose Batman. Like he's so tiny, and he doesn't
Yeah.
just go in the car. So he would probably get lost. So it's better just to have him in that box. But yeah, very cool. Well, happy Bat Day to Drew.
Thank you.
Was your birthday on Batman Day? Because we just had a
No,
Batman Day.
no, it wasn't. We celebrated it. When did we celebrate it? We celebrated it recently. So it wasn't actually on my birthday when we celebrated when I got that,
Gotcha.
but it was, I think it was the day after Batman Day. Now that I think about it. All right. If you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line 317-455-8411. Text us, leave us a message, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. All right, you ready to get out of here, Batchum?
BatChums ready to move out.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same cat time, same cat channel.
Don't worry, the meows are still yet to come.